We wait our entire lives for a moment like this, a chance to play the purest form of daily fantasy sports, a chance to go head to head, mano y mano against our opponents, a chance to play a 2v2 for $1,000. This is why we play this beautiful game. Week 18 is why we work so hard. It's time to roll up our sleeves. It's cash game week.
I suffer from a debilitating condition known as atropic shockitis.
Peter's one of the greatest depositors I've ever seen.
Trust the process. Let's go. Let's go.
I got auto matched with Levitan. This is bullshit.
If I just go the other way, in that 66, I win all the money. All the money.
If I had 150 lineups, I'd win too.
Process over results.
Make a bitch go crazy. I don't know which one of these my baby. Bust out AP, 35 bullets in your head like KD. Bust it, bitch go bust it. And I had 10 pints with me in Russia.
Hey everyone.
Oh, yeah. The pours are extra sweet on cash game week. I am your not so humble cash game king. How we doing? The chat feels frothy this morning. I can tell there's just an extra buzz in the air. You know, I see all of these. I've been seeing these tweets from these GPP bros. I don't know who to play. There's so much chaos. It's just play the best fucking plays, guys. It's not hard. And that's what we're here to do today, is to discuss the best plays. I did start the show a little later this week because I want to be live when inactives hit here in a little less than 45 minutes. I want you to be able to see my pure, raw, uncut reactions to the slate getting flipped on its head, me doing mental gymnastics, figuring out how my shell is being updated in real time. This is me giving you a peek into my process that so many have been trying to figure out for literally days now. I've been receiving questions about my shell nonstop. And I get it. If you knew the contents of my shell, that could be a very valuable thing for you in your cash game head-to-heads. But I can't give it all away, okay? I can give a few things away, though. And I will do that on this show today. Ricky says, what's up? Not hungover today. Let's get it. I'm a little hungover. I had some tequila last night. But that's just because I was celebrating cash game week. But don't worry, we shook off the hangover and we're ready to roll. LaVisca in the shell. I have been seeing some murmurs about LaVisca. Some of these projection systems want you to toss Marvin Jones Jr. into your cash game mix. No, thank you. That's exactly what we're going to do today, Shu. We're going to play the best plays. Simple. It is simple. Watch all these GPP bros galaxy brain themselves off of Cooper Kupp and Jonathan Taylor, right? They're going to do it. You know they're going to do it. Here's the deal about the head-to-heads, guys. I don't know if you guys saw, but I can no longer accept $5 head-to-heads. I am maxed out on those. So if you sent me a $5 head-to-head recently, I literally can't accept it. Send it for any other level. Also, we don't have to be friends on Draftkings to do a head-to-head. Stop sending me friend requests. I'm not accepting any of those. Just send me a head-to-head. I will be accepting them all. If for some reason I didn't accept your head-to-head and it wasn't $5, send it again. I'll accept it. All right. My inbox has been a disaster. I'm doing the best that I can. Lots of action coming in. What do cash grinders and hermit crabs have in common? Relentless quest for a perfect shell. Well said, Max. Well said. Let's see here. Marvin Jones, yeah, the 4 catches, right? Yeah, because he has that incentive built in. I don't know. LaVisca is probably going to get 6 catches, though. Alvin Kamara is not in play for cash. Get that shit out of here. Alvin Kamara is not in play for cash. We're not talking about your GPP plays today. Now, Taysom Hill. You want to talk about Taysom Hill? Boy, do I have a dome boner for Taysom Hill. All right. I thought maybe I could talk myself into Tyler Huntley. I'm not feeling it. Not with this weather. Not with this weather. I got a weather report DM from my man, Kevin Roth. You want to know what he said about that game? He said, for Pittsburgh and Baltimore and Washington, New York Giants, these are our cold rain games today. Neither is constant heavy rain, but it's steady enough in both spots that we'll see a slick ball and field. I'd expect both teams to lean on the run game a bit more than usual. I mean, Huntley looked fine, right? But now you're going to throw in a cold rain game? That's just too much uncertainty for me. Give me the high floor. Give me the dome. Give me Taysom Hill. It makes me feel nice and warm and comforting to know I have Taysom Hill in a dome. We don't use that word, Sean. We don't use that word. That word has been canceled. Why? Because we're playing cash games. JT is a top want play. And I really do think the main decision point of this cash game slate is one of JT or Cup or both JT and Cup. And right now, I'm not going to lie, it looks hard. It is very hard if you have a Taysom Hill dome boner to play both JT and Cup. But I am praying. I'm praying to God, the cash game God himself, to come down from the mountaintops and deliver us a 3K wide receiver on this slate. Because I want to play Jonathan Taylor. What does he need? 266 rushing yards to get to 2,000? I want to play Cooper Kupp. What does he need? 136 passing yards for some stupid record I don't even remember. But the crux of the issue is these men are studs. These men are alphas. They have a lot to play for. And I want to just jam them in, guys. Every bone in my cash game body wants to get these two guys in. I put them on the thumbnail. In case you guys don't know, they're strong plays today. I agree with Mike. Wide receiver is pretty shaky outside of Kupp and Jefferson. Leone's been giving me the hard sell on Justin Jefferson. We might have different lineups. We're doing a couple high stakes head-to-heads as the tilt space. We have a 10K private head-to-head with Chris Neville. We have a 1K head-to-head with the Gilcast. And I'm just going to be honest right now. My personal cash game team might be different than our tilt space team. And this is because Leone has a mind of his own. This motherfucker will do whatever he wants. You'll say you want something, and he'll just overrule you. So I just want you to know that whatever you see in that tilt space cash game lineup, it's not all my doing. Okay? I don't want you to be pointing out, well, why did you, this is what's going to happen. People are going to say, Peter rolled out 2 different cash game lineups. He hedged. No, I would never hedge. Black coffee drinkers are psychopaths? No, people who put calories in their beverages in the morning are psychopaths. Get out of here, Alexa. Although it is really nice having women around here. So I apologize. I don't want you to get out of here. But black coffee is legit. What's up, Holden? What is up? Paris Cam? No, that is not. I mean, we don't even know if he's. I mean, I know they activated him off the IR, but that you got to get out of there with that crap. That's far too scary for cash game week. This is what Leone is trying to push in my ear. This is what he's trying to say. How much tilting will be going on for the Tilt Space boys with the 10K head-to-head? Here's the great thing about cash games, guys, is you don't ever have to tilt them. The beauty of playing cash games is there's zero tilt, because once the slate locks, you know that you played the best plays, and now it's in God's hands. You trust the process. You print those Skolansky bucks. That's all that matters. And so you can't tilt. You have to have a Zen-like approach that you played the best plays and now it's completely out of your hands. I don't want to see any cash game grinders tilting. I want to see us in a meditative state throughout the entire set of games today. Friendly reminder, Leone once strong-armed us into Brashad Perriman. This man can't be trusted. He did also strong-arm us into Jamar Chase on one of our season-long teams that won us a lot of money. So you win some, you lose some. Please don't say words like George Kittle, not even in the cash game conversation. I could write out 100 plays that are eligible for my cash game shell. George Kittle wouldn't even sniff the list. Winfrey? Look, I think if you're going dumpster diving, there's better options than Winfrey. I'm just going to say it right now. All right. Might take a little look at a little Brandon Zylstra. The problem with Zylstra is they're the late game. I have a hunch that Robbie Anderson isn't going to play. That's kind of how I'm leaning. But do you want to clackety clack and gamble? Do you want to gamble? I was watching Robbie Anderson Zapruder style film from practice this week and reviewing it with my body language expert coach, and we don't think he's going to play. But do you have the stones as a cash game grinder to make that bet in advance? Because it's scary. Or do you just want to play ESB, Equanimous St. Brown, the cheetah, the poor man St. Brown? Something I'm considering. John Bates Sisson. Yes, let's talk about tight ends. Tight ends, it's a beautiful week to pay down at tight end. Cole Kmet has been the guy just kind of staring me right in the eyes all week. John Bates, I do agree, is in the conversation. I also think Brevin Jordan down there at 2,700 is viable. I believe I will end up having one of those three guys. Look, in a perfect world, would I love to get up to Zach Ertz at 5,300? Of course. But this salary cap is tight. And Zach Ertz is more of a want play that's just out of reach. Zach Ertz is right here, and I'm just reaching, and I just can't quite get him. And he's not a need. He's not a need. He's a want, and I can't get there. No, what? Who would you prefer in a Tannehill stack? No. What are you doing, TMC? No. Now, if you want to talk about Donta Foreman, I'm willing to have the conversation about Donta Foreman because Donta Foreman looks pretty good to me. I know it's scary. He has virtually no pass catching role in this offense, but the team did just waive Jeremy McNichols. They're in a must-win game against the Texans. He's probably live for 18 plus carries in a plush matchup. If we want to talk about Donta Foreman, I'm willing to have the Donta Foreman conversation, but get out of here with this Ryan Tannehill bullshit. You guys skimper off to your GPPs where you can play bad plays and talk yourself out or talk yourself into it because you're being contrarian. That's not what we do around here. GM. Correct. Price factored in. Slate context factored in. Bates over Kittle. 4K A-Rob. Come on, Pete. You can do it. A-Rob has been in my shell all week. You know, one of the greatest tests a true cash game grinder can face. This is like the final in boss of the cash game superhero story. It's staring at a cash game shell that has 3 Chicago Bears in it. If you can get past that uncomfortable feeling, then you know that you can rise to the top of the cash game mountain. And look, I'm on board with A-Rob. I'm on board with Cole Kmet. I'm wavering on David Montgomery. I'm going to admit it right now. He's been in my shell. He projects well, but I am wavering on David Montgomery. I start to have eyes for Donta Foreman. I start to have eyes for Keyshawn Vaughn. These guys that are $1,000, $1,500 cheaper. And do they really project that much differently? Do I really need to pay up $6,800 for David Montgomery just because he's a lock for 20 carries and 6+ catches? I don't know if I have to. These are the things that I wrestle with. These are the reasons I got so little sleep last night. Tossing, turning, whispering to myself, can I have 3 Chicago Bears in my cash game lineup? What if you don't have to? What if you could play an arbitrage David Montgomery? Would you do it? Talk about stacking on cash week is like wearing white after Labor Day. Thank you, Nick. I couldn't agree more. Thank you. This is the good shit. Donta Foreman revenge narrative against his old team, the Houston Texans. Now we're talking. Let's check out the Sims. Let's see what the Sims are saying for cash game week. Alex says he's going to be reading my body language when actives come out. I will read the inactives as they come out. And if you happen to see my lip quiver, they might be making it into my new show. My wife asked me earlier if Patrick Laird was going to be active today. And I said, maybe. And she said, you should play him in one of your lineups. And I said, Lauren, I love Patrick Laird, but it is cash game week. And I am playing one lineup. And I don't think I can use one of my slots on Patrick Laird. And she said, okay, you're probably right. Let's go to the Sims here. We are going to run them. And, you know, sometimes we kind of sort for optimal leverage. I'm personally not even going to be looking at that column. I'm not even going to be looking. No one look at optimal leverage. We don't care about that. Leverage is a made up term. It's like a cryptocurrency. It's a fake internet money. It doesn't mean anything. All we care about is the optimal rate. We do not care about the projected ownership. We do not care about the optimal leverage. We care about the optimal rate. And my God, David Montgomery's at the top. David Montgomery will not stop hounding me. Man. But look, just a few little spots below him. One Mr. Donta Foreman, a man I cannot stop thinking about. Someone do the meme where I'm holding hands with David Montgomery, but then I'm looking over my shoulder, checking out Donta Foreman, saving that $1,100 in cash. In this economy, do you know what that $1,100 can do for you? Can do a lot. Can do a lot. Jonathan Taylor there at the top. Cooper Kupp at the top. Your challenge this week, should you choose to accept it, is to get to Jonathan Taylor and Cooper Kupp. It's what the cash game grinders dream of. We dream of spots like this, back against the wall. How do we wiggle out it? Justin Jefferson's up there too. Look, I get it. But I get up to 8,100 and then I start to say, can't I just find the other 1,600 to get up to Cooper Kupp? Who else do we have in here? Some plays in the Sims I can never in a million years consider. I will say Christian Kirk. He's in consideration. He is in consideration here. Christian Kirk projects really well. Wide receiver is extremely gross. You know, I think ideally I'd love to be at something like Cooper Kupp, Christian Kirk in a 3K wide receiver. That's where I want to be. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get there. Kevin says single carry is going to ruin us all today. I've literally never heard that nickname, and I absolutely love it. I love it. That's great. It's honestly great. Is that a thing? Do people say that? Did I just completely miss that? Singletary, he is popping. He is popping in some optimals. I'll tell you that right now. He looks good. What can I say? Singletary looks good. Although, if you want to really IKB this situation, right? Let me give another weather report for this Buffalo game. Kevin Ross says, these are our win games today. Both locations likely dealing with 20-mile-per-hour sustained winds in gusts over 30. That will have a negative impact on the passing game and the kicking game for all teams involved. Now, let me tell you a little story. Can everyone go back in their time machines and remember the infamous Monday Night Football wind game, Bills versus the Patriots? And what happened that week? Zach Moss was a surprise active and then led the team in carries that game. We saw the Bills make a meaningful switch to a guy we thought had fallen out of favor with the team. We thought Zach Moss was done, and they said, no, when the wind comes out, that's when Zach Moss comes out. And now we have another win game today, and we have a bunch of people wanting to play Devin Singletary. I get it. But to me, when I watch the film, all right, I start to worry that Devin Singletary is the back they want when they're going way more up-tempo and passing in most situations. And then Josh Allen will check out of a few pass plays to hand off to Devin Singletary. This could be a game where they just put it in Zach Moss's belly 15 times. I'm just saying it. I'm just saying there's some risk here with Devin Singletary. I don't think Devin Singletary is going to be one of my cash game plays. I think he's outside my top 5 running back plays for cash this week. That's my thesis. I'm sticking to it. You might say, Pete, you're IKBing it. Exactly. That's what this is all about. It's about knowing better, and I know better on Devin Singletary. I do, actually. Thank you. It's actually egg. I had some huevos rancheros earlier. Thank you, Dick Chuck. Just a little egg for later. Little egg on my face. Sometimes it's a metaphor. Sometimes it's a reality. Miss sounds like a GPP play, perhaps a hybrid cash GPP play. I don't even know what those words mean. I don't even know what those words mean. Hybrid cash GPP play? No, 100% GPP. The shell has been cracked like an egg. God, I'm full of inconsistencies today. Shaming someone for pouring a bunch of cream and sugar in their coffee. Meanwhile, I'm over here having huevos rancheros. Look, I needed to soak up the hangover last night, okay? I did have some Modelo's. I had tequila, I had margaritas, and I had Negra Modelo's. Ricky, I will tell you, I normally am exclusively Modelo Especial. Now that it's gotten a little colder out, I've switched over to the Negra Modelo's. Good stuff. Brian Hooper in the chat had a nightmare last night that my post-lock lineup had no overlap with Pete's core, drawing dead from the start. Shout out to Brian Hooper, who is listening to this as what I assume is pure ambient noise while he runs his own sims. Brian actually asked me to go to a 3-hour block of GPP content on Sundays so he could have it on in the background while the sims run. A gentle hum of the sims and Pete's sweet dulcet tones is all Brian Hooper needs to be the best GPP player in the world. I hope you're playing cash today, Brian. I hope we can get you out of those tournament streets. Michael Leone told me he was playing 3 lineups in some contest called the Wildcat. I almost threw up in my mouth. Disgusting. I can't even envision playing a contest like that on a slate like this. That's right, Brandon. This is where we're at. We're worried about Singletary. I think Foreman is safer. We're all on the same page here, guys. We're all on the same page here. I do miss Miami. I do. You know what, KZ? It's funny you say that. I think I'm running out of coffee. Oh, man. We're down to the bottom of the barrel. I hope this isn't a metaphor. It's getting low. It's getting low. I might just have to take a break midstream, go make another pot of coffee. All right. Let's talk about defense. It's a really quick conversation. This is what I say about cash game defenses. If your cash game defense isn't going to be owned more than 30% in single entry GPPs, then you're playing a bad cash defense. Just don't overthink it. Just play the Browns. Just play the Browns at 2,600. Smash spot. One of the few free squares on this slate. One of the permanent fixtures of my shell. You know, in a lot of ways, I think the term shell, connotes something fluid, something ever changing. But there has been an anchor in my cash shell this entire week. It's permanently fixed on like a muscle that you can't even get off of the shell. And that's the Cleveland Browns defense. That's the Cleveland Browns defense. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. The meme came in and it's even more inspired than I could have ever have hoped. I thought I was going to get I thought I was just going to get their names. But we got the full on Photoshop from Levi. Me with David Montgomery, my long-term monogamous partner. But then that beautiful Donta Foreman walking down the street in a red dress. And I am a human after all. I'm a man with needs. And sometimes you got to look over your shoulder and look at that sweet, sweet $1,100 in savings. Thank you, Levi, for that meme. Much appreciated. Speaking of which, historical anomalies asking about the Deposit Kingdom Weekly League. We need to have a tough conversation right now, everyone. We need to have a tough conversation. This week, the Deposit Kingdom Weekly League is a 400-man, $10 rake-free double up. Look at the flat payout structure we're working with here, guys. 1 through 200 all get $20. Show me something flatter than that. Show me a tournament with a better flat payout structure than that. These guys say flat. They say they want a flat payout structure, and then I'll look at it. It's like 100,000 to first, 50,000 to second. That's not flat. That's a 90-degree angle downward. It's cutting it in half. This is flat. This is a flat line. 1 through 200. No bumps. No downhill trajectories. Just smooth sailing. 1 through 200. $20 for you. $20 for you. $20 for you. This is how DFS is supposed to be played. And this is the thing. Right now, we still have 110 spots in the best cash game contest on the entire site. I want you to send me head-to-heads. Don't get me wrong. I'm actually begging you to scoop me, bro. I'm begging you to, but those are raked. DraftKings is taking their cut, but not on this league. Nope. $4,000 in prizes, $4,000 in entry fees, folks. Do not make me post this link on Twitter. This is for the true grinders. This is for the people watching this stream, the people who have been diligently updating their shell all week. This isn't for the Johnny-come-latelys, the posers, the Twitter reply guys. This isn't for them, but you will force my hand if we do not fill this. 2 or 3 weeks ago, some disgusting GPP we ran only had 399 out of 400 entries. And it was one of the lowest, most depressing points of my life. If I can't fill a 400-person rake-free contest, what am I even doing? How is there any hope for me in any endeavor in life? Do not make me face those fears, that questioning, that imposter syndrome that welled up inside of me when we only had 399 entries. Do not make me feel that again. This is not an option. There will not be any overlay. I will go door to door in my neighborhood with a QR code of this contest before I allow overlay in this contest. The overlay is the friends we made along the way. The overlay is no rake. The overlay is knowing we played the best plays. There was a question in the chat I wanted to answer. Someone mentioned Sony Michelle. We can't play Sony Michelle today, guys. We can't play Sony Michelle today. It hurts. But Cam Akers is going to get some touches. It's not if he's getting touches, it's how many. Some of you guys might want to clackety clack. You can't take the GPP out of the GPP, bro, even in cash game week. Well, I can. There's too much uncertainty about Sony Michelle. We've seen this backfield be volatile throughout the year. Would it surprise anyone if Henderson or if Akers came back and got 30 to 35% of the touches today? It shouldn't surprise you. A Los Angeles Rams official, a source, told Adam Schefter that Cam Akers looked fantastic this week in practice. Is that something you want to be dealing with? Ask yourself right now, if you play Sony Michelle in cash and you see Cam Akers get a touch, are you going to be mad? Are you going to be tilted? Because if you are, you cannot play Sony Michelle in cash. You have that hypothetical conversation with you. This is how I build my cash game shell. I actually go through every one of these scenarios and I say, Peter, if you play Donta Foreman in cash and they somehow get down to the Jags because Laviska Shenault, or sorry, who are they playing? The Texans. If they somehow get down to the Texans because Rex Burkhead is balling out and Donta Foreman doesn't catch any passes, will you tilt, Peter? And I take a deep breath. And I say, I won't tilt because I know that I saved $1,100 on him relative to David Montgomery. And he projected for 20 plus touches in a smash spot. And so I go through and I do that exercise for every player and ask yourself, will you tilt if the worst case scenario happens? Do this one. Do this one. If I play Brandon Zylstra in cash and Robbie Anderson is active, will I tilt? I'll be fucking so pissed. If I play Brandon Zylstra at 1 p.m. lock and Robbie Anderson is active and Brandon Zylstra gets 2 targets, I will lose my goddamn mind. So I can't play Brandon Zylstra. I'm begging you guys to do this thought exercise, okay? Davis Maddock in the chat. Davis, this stream is not for you. Go back to your little Gilcast group chat. All right? I'm having to juggle a lot of balls today. I'm trying to do visualization exercises. I'm trying to catch up on this chat with the tilt space. Leone just keeps sending screenshot after screenshot. I mean, I can't do, he just sent me a screenshot with Amon-Ra St. Brown in it. That's the wrong St. Brown. Hey, if I wanted to play St. Brown, I'd take his younger brother, or is it older brother? I'd take his older brother for $3,700 cheaper. And then I'm dealing with Davis Maddock in here. It's a lot going on. And I'm trying to visualize. What is Joe sending me money for? There's one obvious play for this slate in cash that I guarantee Davis in considering. That I agree with, Joe. That I agree with. We do have one super top secret play in the Tilt Space private chat that I guarantee the Gilcast isn't on. Those middle IQs would never land on this play. Funny that Davis is trying to retire from DFS right when I became a professional cash game grinder. God, I need more coffee. This is so true. Nick says it's really sad that the GPP bros are trying to plague the minds of cash bros in our week. We left you guys alone all season. We let the cash game grinders do their little thing. I've asked Davis. I've asked Levitan. I asked Cardi. You guys don't even get head-to-heads anymore. The cash game ecosystem was drying up until I burst onto the scene like the motherfucking Kool-Aid man, and I gave CPR and life to this dying industry. And now I've decided to make it my life cause, my life goal, to make cash games the industry standard. I'm so sick of these live finals with tournaments. This offseason, I am going downtown to Boston. I am knocking on the doors of Draftkings, and I'm going to say, how about a cash game live final? How about a live final where the half of the field doubles up their money? I'm going to sit down with Jason Robbins and say, look, I know it's been a few hard quarters. I know the business hasn't been entirely profitable at times. I know you guys are focusing on other sectors, sports betting, NFTs. What if I told you I had the secret to turning this into a multi-trillion-dollar company? And he'd say, Pete, you have my ear. And I'd say, we get rid of GPPs. We go exclusively cash games. People are sick of getting burned. People are sick of seeing snowflakes in their lineups, Jason. People want the best plays. People want fantasy points. And we have to save these people from themselves. We have to eliminate bad play. That's what I'm going to tell them. We're not going to have the entire player pool available anymore. It's too much of a temptation for bad DFS players. It's too much of a temptation for GPP players. We are going to pare down the available players that you can select to only the best plays. In my version of DFS, you log in and you see 2 plays at quarterback, Taysom Hill, Tyler Huntley. You go over to running back, you only see 5 or 6 plays. Jonathan Taylor, David Montgomery, Donta Foreman, Devin Singletary, Keyshawn Vaughn. That's it. You go over to wide receiver, there's only 8 plays. It's Cooper Kupp. It's Justin Jefferson. It's Christian Kirk. It's Amon-Ra St. Brown. It's also his brother, Equinemius St. Brown. It's Brandon Zylstra. It's Marvin Jones. And it's Allen Robinson. That is all you see. Nothing else. You don't need anything else. You just need the best plays. Then we head over to tight end. There's literally 3 options: Cole Kmet, Brevin Jordan, and John Master Bates. None of this bullshit George Kittle. No, just the best plays. And you go over to defense, there's 1 option. You know what? There's not even an option. It comes preloaded in your contest. Browns D. Everyone starts with Browns D. We're now playing an 8v8. This is the future of DFS. Why can't this be a reality? People are flocking to sports betting because it's easy. They just say, I want Pats to win. Bet. They don't want to open up a thing with thousands and thousands of options, literally an infinite amount of combinations. That is overwhelming for the human brain in 2022. We can't do it. We have to simplify things. Draftkings, trust me on this one. Eliminate 95% of the player pool. Preload lineups with the best plays. Let's make DFS great again via cash games. I'm not allowed to do the underdog Jonathan Taylor boost, Clay. Had this talk with Josh Norris on Splash Play on Friday because I hit the Josh Allen boost. Underdog is now censoring me. It's not even on my screen when I go there. I'll show you. It's disgusting. They're trying to limit their best players. I'll show you right now. I go over to Underdog. Just trying to hit that boost. What do grinders do? We hunt out these boosts. I go over to the Pick'em. I go to Indy. Nothing. They won't give it to me, Clay, because I already hit them for that 50x. After everything I've done for Underdog, invested, influenced, finished top 10 in best ball tournaments, and then they don't let me bet Jonathan Taylor? Let me call up Nick Redman right now. Nick Redman, I don't know if you understand, but I have Jonathan Taylor in my cash game shell, and nothing would make me more happy than be able to get a boosted bet on him too. I'd love to correlate some prop bets with my cash game shell, but I'm being censored because I'm a whale, because I'm a sharp. Carlos says this stream is rough. And yet you're still here, Carlos. You want to be, you think you would be wanting to watch a GPP stream, don't you? And yet you're here because you can't help yourself. You know that deep down in your heart, Carlos, all that matters is the best plays. You want to turn it off. You can't believe that you're engaging with a stream that is so rough, and yet you peck away. You don't strike me as someone who does the full typing either. I bet it's one key after the other, THIS space. And you're still here, Carlos. And for that, we thank you. We appreciate you, Carlos. You might only be one of 394 people, but in my version of the DFS world, you are special. You are a snowflake. You are unique, Carlos. You are someone I care about. I care about your DFS play. I care about you succeeding. I care about you playing the best plays. And I shouldn't have to care about you, but I care about this fucking industry and I care about cash games so much that I will leave no good soldier behind. We love you, Carlos. We love you and we care about you. And whatever you're going through right now, we are here for you. What do we got? 5 minutes until inactives come out? Let me see. How many did I have some head-to-heads coming in? Let's see here. All right, Laden thinks in the chat. How many head-to-head invites do you think I've received? All right, I just got one from my buddy Hassan, Steamed Hams. Jake Bilski, $1 head-to-head booked. TK Perfect 10s, $10 head-to-head booked. Timar DeRozan, $10 head-to-head booked. Oh, I am now breaking news. Breaking news. I can now no longer join $10 head-to-heads. $10 head-to-heads are sold out. I have failed to join. $5 and $10 are now sold out. You need to move on to $1, $3, $20, $50, $100. I can no longer play $10 head-to-heads. Mold MLOLD Ham, you sent me a $5. I can't do $5. Mazanga, you sent me a $10. I can't do those. Diamond, I will accept your $1 head-to-head. All right, now we have guesses in the chat for how many head-to-heads. Yeah, I saw that, Brian. I think I accepted it, but I don't want, these 3-man stuff, come on. Head-to-head, mano-y-mano. I don't need to have a menage a trois, all right? Let's see here. How many head-to-heads do I have? All right. Drum roll, please. The number of head-to-head contests that I have. Why isn't there just... Oh, here we go. I am at 193 head-to-heads. I did join the Guildcast. I got it from Nate. 193 head-to-heads. Alexa, did you change your profile picture since you shamed me for drinking black coffee? I think you changed your profile picture. Alexa, be honest. Did your profile picture get up on screen? And then you said, I don't like that profile picture. If it's going to be put on screen, I need to update it. And then you updated it. It looks nice. It looks like a nice new profile picture. Alexa, it's great to have you, even if you don't like black coffee. We have requested that the Guildcast records their pre-lineup build. I don't know if they'll do it. I don't think they'll do it. I think they're too scared. Some of us are willing to let people in on their process, peel back the curtain. Everyone here, this whole thing about these high stakes cash game players and the secret chat where all the best plays and they all pick their lineup. I'm trying to tear that down. I'm trying to make DFS completely transparent. It's kind of what crypto's trying to do. Let's put everything on the blockchain. Let's put the secret chat on the blockchain. What about then? We're all trying to play the best plays. In my perfect world, DraftKings eliminates the rake. We all play the exact same lineup. And we all get our money back. And we move on and we do it week after week. That's what I'm building toward. I don't want to play a 1v1 or 2v2. Why? Because that means you are playing a lesser play than me. If we all have the same lineup, that means we all played the best plays. We collectively played the best plays. Isn't that what we're going to have to do? If we are going to beat climate change, and if we're going to find, cures for cancer, if we're going to find vaccines for these viruses, we are going to have to come together. It takes a fucking village, guys. And I will not stop until we all have the exact same cash game lineup week after week after week. Establish the Edge asks, and I have no idea who this could be. Are you worried about potentially ruining Davis's reputation this week? No. Davis has been a cash game grinder for years. And I think his reputation Speaks for himself. Davis did just update that we are going to record 30 minutes before lock in post. Thank you, Davis. I appreciate this. No edits, no cuts. I need this raw and unfiltered. But to answer your question, Mr. Establish the Edge, no. Davis's cash game bona fides speak for themselves. Do I find it disgusting that he's part of these top secret chats? I do. But he's a good kid with a good heart. And he's going to survive this. I just hope we have the same lineup. Now, I know I had a tweet. Thank you for getting us back on track. It is 11:30, guys, and I will try to read every single piece of inactive news, and it's your job to be a body language expert and try to notice, is my eye flickering? Is my chest beating? Is my lip quivering? Are the hairs on the back of my neck raising? It's your job to figure that out. Let's do a test. DeForest Buckner is active for Indianapolis. Did you pick anything up there as I read that? Back to the P. Ryan versus Vaughn thing. Look, would I ever use my running back against my defense in cash? Of course. If the projected points say so, why not? But I feel like there's too much opportunity cost at running back, and P. Ryan's now in like my top 7 plays. And this is why when I said earlier in the week that he was the free square, I said he was the free square in my shell. And shells are ever changing. I told people this morning, I said, do not fall in love with your shell. I said, the dark and stormy skies portend a flippening. A phrase I actually said back out loud to myself multiple times because it felt so fucking poetic. And that holds true. Do not fall in love with your shell. You might think you love your shell. You might think you're ready to put a ring on it. So much can change in the next 2 minutes, in the next 20. It's true. No two shells are the same. Seeing lots of Patrick Taylor talk. Wide receiver T. Higgins is inactive today for the Bengals, folks. This reported by Ben Baby. Follow at Ben_baby on Twitter. Wide receiver Tavon Austin is inactive. Laviska Shenault isn't. Out today, Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones is officially out. Can Patrick Taylor sniff the shell? Can Patrick Taylor sniff the shell? Is Patrick Taylor the skeleton key to everything we want? I'm trying to read some other breaking news from you guys today. Jared Goff is active. Jared Goff is active. Did Amon-Ra St. Brown just enter my shell with that news? You tell me. You look into my eyes when I read the news. Jared Goff is active. Do you see a sparkle? Khalil Waring is inactive for the Jags. So is James O'Shaughnessy. Who is playing tight end for the Jags today? Because they could be in my shell. Julio Jones is active. Does that mean softer boxes for Donta Foreman? You tell me. Penei Sewell is inactive. If you are even thinking, actually, I just thought Penei Sewell was on the Bengals, but they took Jamar Chase instead of him. Penei Sewell plays for the Lions. Kareem Hunt is not active today. Kareem Hunt is not active. Could Dearness Johnson sneak his way into your shell? maybe a little crowbar. Imagine a little Dearness Johnson running over to your shell. He has a little crowbar, and he just cracks it open just enough. And Dearness Johnson weasels into a shell. Could that happen? Maybe. Any other big bombshells coming? I wanted the 3K wide receiver to open up. I needed it. I prayed about it. I don't know if we're going to get it. I think we only have 3K wide receivers who project for 3.6 targets. I needed that 3K wide receiver who is going to project for 4.6 targets, and we didn't get it. But these are the moments we live for. The moments where our backs are against the wall, where it seems like we don't have a way out, and yet we find a way to get the highest floor player into our lineup. I appreciate you guys hanging out today. I wish you best of luck. Be the change you want to see in the world. Don't play GPPs. Play cash games. Write your local congressman. Tell them that cash games are the future of America, of this country. If we are going to colonize the moon, if we're going to colonize Mars, it's going to be on the backs of cash games becoming the standard way that all humans transact across the globe. I will see you guys tonight at 6 p.m. for the Tilt Space. Good luck with your shells.